Hi, my name is Amreen Omar, and today I'm going to be talking to you about using the application of Padlet to overcome communication challenges in the classroom. Over the past 10 years of teaching part-time and now full-time, I've discovered a lot about myself and also about my teaching philosophy and the techniques and values that I feel really work for me in the classroom. And to summarize that, I really think that a classroom should be caring, dynamic, and inclusive. And for me, almost the most important thing about the classroom environment is communication. I really try to foster an environment where everyone is comfortable to share their ideas, their questions, their concerns. I spend a lot of time talking to students, asking questions, and listening to their responses. And I really feel dialogue is the medium through which I'm able to learn about my students and maximize the teaching environment. I found this picture online, and I kind of liked the emotion that it conveys. It conveys an environment where all the students are really excited to be there. The teacher's excited to be there. It kind of seems to be an environment where everyone is eager to communicate and share. And that's kind of like what I'm striving for in this journey. This picture comes from an article in the Huffington Post from 2014 called Education Builds Self-Reliance in a Changing World by Anita Casalina. Coming back to my PowerPoint presentation and thinking about the picture that you just saw, that picture has a few assumptions inherent with it, which is a problem because that type of teaching philosophy where you want everything to sort of be derived from dialogue, it has a presumption that everybody is comfortable talking in class, and I've really realized that that's not the case. You know, when I ask a question and I want to encourage communication and dialogue, I'll always have those one or two students who always put their hand up. But then there are always those students in the class who are very reluctant to talk in a public setting and who feel very, very self-conscious about communicating in that way. To give you a very specific example, at the beginning of every class, I always take a few minutes to review what we did in the previous class. And I'll ask questions, like, what did you think of that case? Or tell me a brief summary of the facts of that legal decision. Or what about the principle of quantum merit? Can you give me an example of that from real life? I teach law and, case law and the media. There's lots of fodder for good discussion. And so I always try to start every class with some active discussion. But that being said, it's always the same people who communicate. So I started to look for an interface or some sort of technological application that would support me in this journey in enabling my students to communicate without having to speak in class. And I was really excited in my TEL class at Seneca to discover the application of Padlet. So I'm now on my Padlet page here in front of you. And I've got the homepage up, and I was able to log in using my Google username and password. So being able to log in with Google was really easy, and I just found um, the whole mechanism of the website so easy to use, which is such a challenge usually. So literally, I just went to Padlet.com. I was able to log in with Google. I clicked on this icon here, Make a Padlet. And when I clicked on Make a Padlet, I'll kind of show you what I got. I got all these different templates, which allowed me to choose what I wanted to look like. So I'll just show you what I did. I think I chose this one. And then it gave me kind of this funky background. And if you go over here, then you can specify the title, you can specify a subtitle, you can even go through and choose your different backgrounds and set it up to make it really reflect your needs. So going back to my homepage, I already created a Padlet for my class and I wanted to show it to you. what I did was I created a board here, and what I asked my students to do, and this is a sample of that board, it's an example of it, but I posted an article dealing with some contemporary issues in the area of landlord and tenant law, which is one of the courses that I'm teaching. And I asked my students in class to read this article and comment on it. But I also, at the same time, I posted a link to this article on Padlet. And I said, you have the option to either communicate with me verbally in class, or you can post your comments on Padlet. And I showed this screen on my screen in the classroom, and I gave people the option to comment either verbally or on Padlet. And it was really, really beneficial because all of a sudden, in that moment of doing that in class, I was able to access those students who were perhaps not comfortable speaking in class, but who were really comfortable just making a comment and typing it in online. And again, one of the really big benefits about this is how user-friendly it is. All I have to do is scroll over here to the bottom right, and I click on this icon that says Add a Post, and then I go over to the box and I type it in. Great article, really helpful. And I hit enter, and that's posted. You know, it's so, so easy and so user-friendly. Like, it's not like the students have to access this really complex technology to gain the benefits of this mode of communication. So what Padlet really gave me was it gave me an opportunity to like I said, access those people who I typically wouldn't be able to communicate with in the classroom. But it also allowed me to continue teaching in my own chosen style and not have to change my way of teaching, but just expand it and kind of make it more multifaceted so I could accommodate my way of teaching with a broader, more diverse group of communicators. So in conclusion, I derived several benefits from incorporating the use of Padlet into my classroom teaching. The first one is not only did I learn something new about technology, but I was able to teach my students something new, which is really exciting when you can do that. And in doing so, I really feel I contributed to the development of their digital competencies and empowering them to access a new tool and use it effectively during our classroom discussions. In doing so, in introducing Padlet into my classroom repertoire, I was able to connect with my students in a new way. And that connection carries forward in all aspects of the relationship. You know, students feel more open coming to you about their issues. There's more meaningful discussion in the classroom when there's a heightened connection. And I just became much more in tune with my classroom environment and what their needs were and what my capacity was to deliver those needs. Finally, I think another one of the big benefits I derived from incorporating Padlet was the fact that, you know, one of the real challenges in today's teaching world is engaging the students. You know, they've got multiple distractions, whether it be a phone or music or YouTube or, you know, other anxieties and stresses which play on their minds. And I find bringing in new tools and new technologies into the classroom that are easy to use and kind of fun really contributes to an engaged student group. And it's really easy to tell when your students are engaged. People make more eye contact, people are more talkative, and the relationships and the enthusiasm really builds. So I would say that was probably the biggest benefit from starting to use Padlet in the classroom. And I'm really excited to incorporate other technologies as well and continue to make my classroom a more engaged and dynamic environment. Thank you so much.